What happens to your brain, body, and sex life when you masturbate 5 times a day? Did you know that chronic masturbation has been linked to dopamine desensitization, sexual dysfunction, and even brain changes similar to drug addiction? Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're ready to face the uncomfortable truth about your daily habits. Drop a comment below. How often do you think is too often to masturbate? Introduction: the dark side of daily pleasure. Question: is there such a thing as too much masturbation? Could it really rewire your brain like heroin or cocaine? The act of masturbation has become normalized in our culture, almost too normalized. Some YouTube doctors even encourage doing it 5 to 10 times a day, claiming it's healthy. But are they telling the whole story? We're not here to shame or moralize. Instead, this video explores scientific evidence, real-life case studies, and deep psychological impacts behind chronic masturbation. This isn't just about sex. It's about mental health, performance, energy, and your entire masculine identity. Hit that like button if you've ever questioned your own masturbation habits. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because what we're about to reveal isn't being said out loud anywhere else. A brief history of masturbation, from gods to guilt. Surprising fact: in ancient Egypt, a god created the world by masturbating. Yes, the Egyptian deity Adam was believed to have created life through self-pleasure. Pharaohs even had rituals where they masturbated into the Nile to ensure fertility. But contrast this with how most religions eventually treated masturbation. In Zoroastrianism, it was viewed as sinful. In Christianity and Islam, it was considered a moral failure. The shift from sacred to shameful is deep and telling. Even Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, warned about the long-term dangers of masturbation on a person's mental development. Personal insight: as a mental health researcher, I've seen patterns where excessive masturbation correlates with low self-esteem, lack of motivation, and social withdrawal. It's not just about feeling guilty. It's about what your brain is being trained to desire. How many times can you masturbate a day without harm? Critical question: is there a safe limit? Once, twice, 5 times a day, or none at all? Mainstream advice says, masturbate as much as you like, it's normal. But studies suggest otherwise. Journal of Sexual Medicine, 2014. Men who masturbated excessively had lower sexual satisfaction and increased performance anxiety. Cambridge University, 2016. Porn-induced masturbation activates the same reward circuits as opioid addiction. Real-life example: a 28-year-old patient of mine reported masturbating 6 to 7 times daily. Over time, he lost motivation, couldn't concentrate, and began experiencing erectile dysfunction with real partners. After 60 days of abstinence, his confidence and clarity returned. Personal opinion: I don't recommend any specific daily masturbation quota. If you're feeling compelled to do it multiple times a day, it's no longer a choice. It's an addiction. My advice: strive for no FAP, even if you relapse occasionally. The hidden neurological consequences. Shocking reality: chronic masturbation can rewire your brain just like cocaine. When you masturbate to porn, your brain releases dopamine, the pleasure chemical. But repeated overstimulation leads to dopamine resistance, like insulin resistance, dull pleasure response in real-life intimacy, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, PIED, reduced gray matter in areas tied to decision-making. Scientific proof: a 2015 study from the Max Planck Institute in Germany found that higher porn consumption correlated with less brain volume in areas related to motivation and reward. And remember, most modern masturbation happens with porn, making it even more addictive. Case study: a college student who watched porn daily and masturbated 5 to 6 times a day failed classes, lost relationships, and eventually entered therapy. After 90 days without porn or masturbation, his life began turning around. Comment below: have you ever experienced brain fog or lack of motivation after a session? Let us know. We want to break the stigma. The emotional aftermath: shame, regret, and disgust. Stat alert: up to 85% of men report post-masturbation guilt or disgust, especially when it's done compulsively. You may feel relief immediately after ejaculation, but what follows for many is loss of energy, feelings of guilt, emotional numbness, shame or regret. Testimonial. I feel like a loser every time I do it. It's like I'm a slave to my urges, says one NoFap forum user. Why it matters. Over time, these negative emotional patterns wire your brain to associate pleasure with self-loathing, which contributes to depression, low motivation, and social anxiety. Encouragement. You're not weak if you struggle with this. You're just stuck in a loop designed by your brain chemistry, and you can reprogram it. It starts by saying no to instant gratification. Is there any benefit to masturbation? Controversial question. Is masturbation ever good for you? Yes, in limited and controlled scenarios. If you're single and abstinent, it may help avoid risky sex. Some evidence suggests occasional ejaculation reduces prostate cancer risk, but not daily. A 2004 Harvard study showed that men who ejaculated 21 times a month had a slightly lower risk of prostate cancer, but this didn't account for whether the ejaculation came from masturbation or real sex. But beware, these benefits don't outweigh the mental health risks, especially if you're addicted to porn or feel emotionally depleted afterward. Final take. If you must do it without porn and keep it to a rare occasion, not a daily habit. The NoFap solution, reclaiming your energy. Question, what if you tried 30 days of no masturbation? The NoFap movement isn't just a trend, it's changing lives. Here's what happens when you stop. Day 1 to 7, you feel urges, discomfort, and agitation. Your brain craves the dopamine. Day 8 to 14, brain fog lifts, motivation and focus begin to return. Day 15 to 30, more energy, stronger willpower, increased libido for real partners. Day 31 plus, emotional strength and masculine clarity become natural again. Real story, a man in his 40s said, after 60 days of NoFap, I felt like I was 25 again, motivated, focused, and emotionally grounded. My advice, track your days, meditate, exercise. Replace the habit with something productive. Drop a comment. Are you doing NoFap? How many days in are you? Let's support each other. Final thoughts. How many times should you masturbate a day? Clear answer. Ideally, 0. If you must, once every 30 to 60 days, and only without porn. Daily masturbation trains your brain to expect artificial stimulation. It kills your desire for real connection. It rewires your reward system to chase pixels instead of people. Worst of all, it chips away at your energy, your motivation, and your manhood. Summary of key points. Masturbation addiction can mimic drug addiction in the brain. Most men feel worse, not better, after chronic masturbation. Porn-induced ED and emotional numbing are real. NoFap works if you commit to it. Before you go, tap like if you found this eye-opening. Share this with someone who's battling this cycle. Subscribe for more real, raw, and research-backed content on men's health. And tell us in the comments, what's your take on this? Video ends, but your journey starts now. This isn't just about masturbation. It's about mastering your energy, your discipline, and your potential.